I will provide you some general introduction to the content of the report and the executive summary, so that the main information. Just a little background. The NEMO Committee, which I've been honored to lead in the last 3 years, has been mainly in its first phase of life a platform to promote the NEMO cooperation, to set up basically what's here today. So the so-called NCO plan, all the operational agreements among NEMOs and TSOs for the operation of the coupling, the draft methodology submitted to the NRAs and to ACER to define all the rules for the operation of the coupling. And this has been the main task for the last year. Now, with the formal go live of the SDAC and SIDC in the last year, the NEMO Committee is entering into a different phase, more dedicated for what is the stakeholders' point of view, in the role to be a platform to promote transparency and stakeholders' involvement. As you probably saw, we set up a website where all the information we provide is available, included, as Kata said, what you see today and the registration of today's event, the consultation, the different outcomes of the methodologies, more and more data available. And so please keep following what we publish, because we think that this is contributing to provide very detailed understanding of the market. If we can go to the content, indeed, it has been already anticipated somewhat by Thomas. This report, as a second issue, is a huge step forward with respect to the first one in many dimensions. First of all, we are addressing a longer time span. We cover 3 years of past data, but also 3 years of prospective data. There is a couple of chapters dedicated to scalability and R&D, which is describing what we will do and what we expect to be the impact on performance from our activities. This report is somewhat compiling all the reports expected in the algorithm methodology approved by ACER. So it is including data on operations, incident, requests for changes, corrective measures. It is including monitoring data, providing raw data and indexes on the operation of the system. This scalability, which is simulation of the expected impact on performance of the changes in the pipeline, and the R&D plan, providing the roadmap of the changes expected in the next years and the process to improve the algorithm, which is already agreed upon and ongoing among NEMOs and TSOs. So the time span has been widely increased. This year, we included a huge amount of further data from SIDC, because following the second wave go live, new reporting functionalities has been made available. So we got not only a wider geographical coverage, obviously given to the second wave go live, but indeed more data available to describe the operation of SIDC. We also introduced a new section which is providing some aggregated data about prices and volumes in the two projects. As said before, also by Thomas, this is not so much a market report, but it is a more process report, describe how the operations works behind the scene. But we try to include also disaggregated values, describing the dimension, the magnitude of these two coupling projects. So in that sense, this is a much deeper and wider report than in the past. And the idea is to keep on year after year complementing further information to extend the scope. For example, when there will be the launch of the IDAS, currently scheduled for 2023, this will be also included here. So this is a live report growing year after year. If we can come to what is indeed the main outcomes from this year, which are reported in the executive summary, we can see that from the day ahead side, the market is now really extended, despite still being divided into two main regional couplings for the MRC and the 4 MMC, so basically the eastern and the western part of Europe, indeed, plus some isolated countries. Indeed, we are covering and supporting 27 countries. 1,500 terawatt-hours power. So this is an unprecedented market by dimension worldwide. We were able to support such extension and operation, also including many complex requirements, with a set of continuous requests for changes, more and more complex along the time, implemented and supported by the algorithm, with a very good level of operation. Unfortunately, this will be further commented there. You are aware that last year we had the first decoupling event in years of operation that was coming from a local issue, which is beyond the control of the general coupling. This happened, and this has been also a chance to further improve from different perspectives the processes which can follow, and also proper transparency is being provided. In terms of performance, we see that the usage of the different requirements is growing, and anyway, the times to the first solution, so the time spent by the algorithm to find at least one solution, remain very below with respect to the available time. So providing that performance currently is really good, and so is for the optimality and repeatability. These are the three main requirements from CACM. The algorithm should be trying to reach an optimal solution, should be repeatable, and should be scalable. Currently, the outcomes of these three dimensions are really good. The scalability report mentioned before is clearly showing that for the next years, a huge amount of new requests for changes is expected to couple the two coupling regions, to extend flow-based to a wider coverage of Europe, the core flow-based and the Nordic flow-based, to implement the 15 minutes. On this ground, the scalability report clearly shows that the existing algorithm is being perfectly able to support the extension of CACM to all Europe and the extension of flow-based basically to all Europe. So the completion of the day-ahead coupling is something perfectly supported by the existing algorithm, while the implementation of the 15 minutes will demand substantial performance improvement in terms of scalability, and this will be further made true by the fact that the goal level 15 minutes, due to local derogation, it is not expected to happen at once, but stepwise, country by country, that will require further R&D also to implement new functionalities, the so-called cross-matching, able to trade at the same time in some countries 15 minutes product and in other countries 60 minutes product, or the same for the cross-border flows. And we provide in the report evidence that the expectation is that such process of improvement of the algorithm should be able to provide proper expected outcomes not before 2023. This is something that we are discussing openly with all the institutions, so Acer and RAISE and Commission. And this is why you can see in the R&D report, the R&D chapter, which are the stream of activities we are following to improve the algorithm performance, following hardware improvement, software improvement, market design improvement, altogether to build up a solution which is scalable enough to support this wider dimension of the market expected in the years to come. Moving to the intraday, the intraday market, you know that in November last year, we had the second wave go live, so the extension to all the other Eastern countries. So currently, we are still waiting for the third wave to couple Italy and Greece, but the extension has been progressing really fastly. Volumes are growing, number of trades are growing. This has been an outcome of the sequence of requests for changes which has been needed to be implemented to support the extension and to retain adequate performance, stable operation, which has been the case with no major issues. Indeed, we registered in terms of performance that all the level of usages of requirements has been steeply growing because we got more network complexity, more NEMOs, more orders, executed orders and trades nearly doubled, and there is a significant trend within the year. So this is not simply following the extension, but it is really the increasing growth of this kind of market, which is a new market, fastly growing. And despite this, performance remained pretty stable. So this is very, very positive. We saw that the main liquidity for this market, as it is obvious, is concentrated in the last trading hours before delivery. Also in this ground, we run the scalability test, and we can see that all the tests has been positively passed. So even in perspective, the solution proves being reliable. We expect for the future some requests for changes which could be more demanding, like the one related to the treatment of losses, the cross-matching of products with different MTU, and also on this ground, or the transit shipping solution for the enduring phase. So there are further streams of R&D also here to support the implementation of the new extension, the new requirements, and to retain in the different scenario the proper level of stability and reliability. This is at a glance the kind of subjects which are treated in the document and the main outcomes. But now I would say we can start with the presentation of the two individual chapters, first the day-ahead one and then the intraday, to go deeper step by step into the content and also then provide you time to raise Q&A on this ground. So we could start with the single head coupling chapter, and on this ground I would leave the word to Alvaro Torregano. Please, Alvaro, the floor is yours.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes. Perfect.
Okay. Oops. Have you already finished your executive summary presentation?
Yes, it's up to you to present your chapter. Yes.
Okay. Well, so let's go.